United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Beichman. Biesinger.
Present.
Boss.
Present.
Ekis.
Present.
Fry.
Present.
Gross.
Present.
Schroller.
Present.
Thrum.
Present.
We have quorum.
All right, the first item is approval of minutes. The first meeting is from, regular meeting from October 23rd.
Move to approve the regular meeting of the City Council, October 23rd, 2017.
Second.
Is there any amendments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Then we had a special meeting.
Move to approve the special call meeting of November 6, 2017 of the Marysville City Council.
Second.
Any amendments or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. All right, the first item is public comments. Anyone that would like to speak may come to the podium, give your name, your address, and your ward, and you may speak up to 5 minutes. Okay, well, I am going to make one public comment, and that is on Veterans Day. There was a very nice program at the high school on Friday, and we have several veterans that are employees. We have Denny Schroller, who's our councilman. Thank you for your service. And we have, on the police department, we have David Oldie and Celia Self, Todd Packett, and Bright Firking. And on our street department, we have Sam Crott and Paul Fye. And for water, we have Kent Bargman. And on our fire department, we have Denny Rockwell, Brad Eichelberger, Kyle Bargman, and Joe Pizzle. So thank you all for your service, and our country is great because of people like you who serve. So with that being said, now we'll move on to business and discussion items. Wayne and Michelle, you're up.
Good evening. I'm Wayne Cruzy. I'm the chairperson for Marysville Convention and Tourism. Michelle is our director, and Barbara Kafer is with us this evening. She's the vice chair. A little over a year ago, we came to you with this idea that we wanted to have someone to do aggressive marketing, work on attraction development, and focus on the visitor experience, all the while attracting more visitors to Marysville. And now, more than a year later, we're happy to say that we're really pleased with this progress. And so, in your packet, you have our thoughts. I'll highlight some of them. Michelle will give some brief remarks, and then we're happy to answer any of your questions. When we talk about aggressive marketing, I think the committee feels this is probably Michelle's greatest strength. When you think about any marketing campaign that Michelle puts forth, everything is consistent, everything is coordinated. So from social media to what you see on TV, to what you see on the posters or in print or on digital, it's all working together, and each piece is supporting one another. And she works tirelessly to make sure that the look is whimsical yet professional. So it stands out, but it still speaks well of the city of Marysville. When it comes to attraction development work, Michelle works closely with a lot of organizations. The one that I see the most is she works a lot with the Museum Alliance. Those 3 museums are the cornerstone of our tourism, and each of those museums has a strong board, they have strong volunteer pools, and Michelle works with them to answer their questions, to provide guidance, to provide support, and I know they all appreciate the help that she gives them. Also, I feel that sometimes Michelle is the Vicki Gross. Vicki, you've talked to us several times about how you sit in Pony Park and talk to visitors. And at our meetings, Michelle talks to us about that a lot. When she looks out her window and she sees people at the Life Tiles murals, she's out there with brochures, she's out there with a bottle of water, talking to them and getting really anecdotal, face-to-face feedback that helps us figure out what's working and then what can we do to draw you back. So Vicki, we've listened to your comments as well to make sure that that we're doing them. Yeah. Just within the past couple of weeks, our website is live, thanks to Michelle's work on that. It took a little bit of time to populate the site, and it's not perfect, but it's there, it's workable, and Michelle already has other ideas of things that she wants to implement. We have one new billboard up with another one about to come up, probably in early spring, so you can see our presence elsewhere. sometimes I feel when we come to council before, we've had questions about being involved in different organizations. And Vicki, I think you were someone who asked us, what are we getting from this? And Michelle has done a really nice job about talking to us about organizations, statewide organizations that are worthwhile for us. Several years ago when we were deciding, should we become a member again of the Travel Industry Association of Kansas? Because we really weren't for sure, what do they do for us? And so we said, yeah, let's join again and then let's figure out how they help us. Well, this year Michelle has really helped us understand how important it is for us to be a member. She was at their conference a couple weeks ago, and it would maybe be 6 in the morning or 11 o'clock at night when I'm in bed, but I'd be getting texts from her while she's at this conference telling me, we have to do this, we have to do that. And it was just that excitement, that energy was wonderful. And then when she came back at our last meeting last week, she spent at least 20 minutes, if not 25. I had to cut her off so we could move on, sharing all this great information of what she had learned and then what we needed to know so that as we do our long-range planning, we can put that all together. So we had Michelle's evaluation. We've done that quarterly last week, and one of the things that we talked about, Austin brought this up, was making sure that we're prioritizing, because in a new position there's a lot of stuff to do. It's changing the look, it's making sure our look is consistent, going back to that conversation earlier. And so we know that we as a committee, we need to make sure we're providing clear priorities for Michelle so that she can easily get bombarded. People come to her and say, hey, could you help with that? Hey, could you help with this? And often it's not a big thing to do, but if you start adding that stuff up, she can get pulled away from our prime mission. So the Convention and Tourism Committee has a long-range planning meeting on Monday evening, a week from tonight, and so that will be part of our discussion. So we can make sure that it's not just Michelle doing the work, obviously she's our leader, but it's also our committee providing support to her.
It's really humbling standing up here. Wayne has all these very nice things to say about me, and I appreciate that. I hope that you all have been getting my monthly, I guess, notes, for lack of a better word, about what I've been working on in the last, almost 11 months. We have a lot that we've accomplished, I feel like, our committee, but we have a lot left to do, that's for certain. And yeah, you did a good job summing it up. I really do truly appreciate the opportunity. I spoke at the career fair the other day. Anytime I'm around kids, I was just like, do you know what my job is? It's to be Marysville's cheerleader. It's just really fun, and I've gotten to, like Wayne said, work with a lot of different groups. I was not super familiar with all of our museums before I got on the Convention and Tourism Committee, and I just love how unique we are. And I talked to other communities about, over in Seneca, they have a couple of museums, but they're only open by appointment only, and it's hard to advertise things like that. So I think we're really fortunate that we have the museums, that we have the Black Squirrels on Parade. That's our thing, as everyone called it at the tourism conference. So I just think we have a lot to promote here. So it's exciting that we have this position now, along with the committee, to do that kind of work. So Wayne wanted me to touch a little bit on the TIAC conference. I do appreciate being able to attend that. It was 3 days down in Garden City. I'd never been to Garden City before, so that was quite a drive. But I learned a lot. Wayne was not kidding you. I took like 10 pages of notes in this notebook here of just ways that we could try to better what we're already doing and new things that we can do. Talking to my peers in the other communities and seeing what works and what doesn't. I told them I was like this just constant hand up. We had this small budget marketing meeting because we sat in one of the initial breakout sessions, and the lady from Kansas City, Kansas told me she had $1 million marketing budget, which made my jaw drop a little bit. But in perspective to who they compete with, that probably is pretty low compared to the other big cities they compete with. But anyways, sure. We had a small budget marketing meeting, and I told Wayne I just had this list of I want to make sure I ask about this. Do other people do this? Because again, it's all new territory for me, and it's all new territory for Marysville of things we can enter into. The RAC card program, for instance, or Tour Kansas, and all these organizations and coalitions and stuff that I can be involved with. So gosh, it was 3 fun days. I feel like I learned a lot, and hopefully we can implement some of those things over the next year and really see the benefit of being involved with that organization. So.
Michelle also tells us that people stop by to see her in our office I know some of you have gone to see her. You bring her ideas, clippings, suggestions, and community members have done that as well. So, and then she
I have a
shares that
stack
with
of
us. So it's great that that door is open.
Yeah, most recently, actually, Joe's grandma brought me a whole bunch of pictures of downtown Marysville, like a long, long time ago. And it's just fun that people bring those types of things into my office. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. They can be some great throwback Thursday photos, I guess. But it's just fun that people see that and recognize that, so.
Well, I know that when we go to conferences, everybody always speaks really highly of Marysville. They know where we are, they know about us, and so I'm sure that's because of your marketing efforts as well.
But I always tell people too, it's not like I did anything different to I got Marysville out there, and I'm biased, but I'm like, Marysville's always been great, and we've always had a lot going on. It's just now we have someone that, and let's be honest, there are, many cheerleaders for Marysville in our community, but that's my sole job now, whereas the other people are usually doing it as volunteers, so.
Cool. Well, am I going to present this back to you at this time? Is this the right time? Do you want to say why you received it? Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so every year at the tourism conference, they give out awards for print and web material and events and all sorts of different things. So we submitted the Black Squirrels on Parade for the Community Awareness Award, and really just the basis of that was it solved a problem. People didn't really know why we were the Black Squirrel community, and we just kind of jumped on that and embraced it, and we told that story. So that's what, and we were awarded first place out of, I think, a dozen entries. We were the smallest community to win an award. I could be wrong about this, but I think Emporia was the next smallest community. So that's really exciting that Marysville was recognized for that.
You're competing with those big boys.
Right. Emporia brought home like 7 awards. They needed another van to drive up there.
So we're glad you won this.
Yes, but there was a lot of people, I just promoted it. I was not even on the Black Squirrels on Parade committee, so I just, kudos to those people that were involved, so.
Besides the fact that it's a beautiful award. It is. Congratulations.
Barb was on the committee, way more than I was.
Yeah, and turn around toward the camera. Turn toward the camera, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to get a picture here on the edge.
Yeah.
Tell us what the initials stand for.
Travel Industry Association of Kansas. We should have looked at we didn't know that.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations.
Right? I know, I said we're gonna have to build a shelf for all of our hardballs.
One more thing that Vicki keeps wanting is brochures at the Pony Park. Are you working on that? Oh, good.
Wait, at the Pony Park, there are brochures over there. Unless it's out, I didn't check it last week.
We're
Behind the mural, you mean?
behind the mural.
No,
Did you
it's
know?
on the side. It's on the side, Dale maybe installed it.
How long ago did you put it up there?
It's been months,
The
couple
week
months.
of the eclipse, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
and I've had to replenish it several times.
Awesome.
It's
I
just
know that was-
a little rat card with information, and it leads people to our website or up to the visitor center to get even more information.
I think that was always one on her to-do list, so.
Where I got that idea was in New Orleans. I went there and they had a walking tour, and you pick up the brochure wherever you are, and you start at that point, they're numbered, and it walks you around in a circle. It walks you back past restaurants, it walks you past museums, so you not only get to see, but you're enticed to go in and spend some money, which is what we want people to stop and take a good look at us and leave some tourist dollars here. So thank you, Michelle, for taking care of that. Yes,
All right, well done, well done.
well done.
Okay, the next item is a Lee Dam Arts Center request, conception request for December 9th.
Move to approve the consumption request for the Marshall County Arts Cooperative for December 9th at the Lee Dam Arts Center for Fine Arts for the Christmas concert with Martin Lucas.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are there still tickets available?
A few.
A few, because I went and bought mine,
Yes.
so. Okay, the next item is the mowing agreement. It starts on page 36. Last year, this was for 3 years, is that correct? Would we do it for 3 years again? or- Okay. And,
Is this identical to
A
the
few
current contract?
upgrades per Craig's recommendation, but pretty much everything's pretty much the same.
I was wondering on 5.2, do we want to allow him to assign it without approval from us?
He can sign it, but it only is in effect if we sign it.
No, assign it.
A sign, what do you mean?
On page 37, 5.2, if he assigns a contract to someone else, I didn't know if we wanted to say that we needed to have written notification.
Why would we want to let him assign the contract to somebody else? Why would we let him do that? Why wouldn't we do business with that person directly? That's like subletting or something.
Well, we can pull
I
that.
would give you a little bit of an insight, meaning that when they're
Come up here.
the hay, not just mowing, but if they're gonna cut the part of the hay, a lot of times, the person who owns the swather is not the person who owns the baler, if that's what they're referring to, because their part of this is hay, not just cut.
But we kind of leave it wide open right here.
So, I mean, I think maybe that's what that's in there for. I'm just guessing, I don't know, but if you know about farming, the guy who comes in to actually roll up the hay may not be the guy who's cutting the rest of it, or...
Well, I noticed it on page 56, on the lease agreement that we have in the packet this time, when we talk about an assignment, we just say it has to be without first obtaining in writing the consent of the lessor.
Well, now how are we gonna carry that on? If he gets hurt on our property, we require that the person doing the mowing has insurance, but how does that work when he's having somebody else come in and do work? How does that work? Does that person who is subcontracting or whatever you're calling this comes on there, are you requiring him to have insurance too? He could get hurt on our property.
It goes back to the guy that signed the contract.
Right.
Goes back to subcontractor, correct?
Yeah.
Or contractor.
It'd be like
The contractor. Yeah.
Doesn't go, it goes back to the contractor.
Well, that kind of leads to my second question on 7.1 where it says liability insurance. I didn't know if we wanted to have proof of that liability insurance. Request proof on it, of it.
He has to put in a deal for proof of liability insurance. Contractor does.
Well, do we, it says shall obtain. It doesn't say,
They usually bring us a copy. They usually,
don't you think we should put that in the contract?
Don't they give you a copy of it, Debbie?
usually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's required. And at 7.2, contractor needs to provide workers' compensation insurance for contractors, employees, and agents. So whoever he has come in is going to be his agent. So he's going to need to provide workers' comp. It's in the
It
contract.
just falls underneath his
Yeah.
subcontractor.
His insurance?
Yeah, you don't make anything more out of it than it's just the contractor's the only one we deal with. Everybody else falls under him.
So you're saying even though it doesn't say they have to provide it to us, just they will?
The contractor has to provide it to us. The subcontractors don't. They're working for him.
What they're saying in here, it says we don't specify that the contractor has to provide it. It should-
To us.
Yeah.
We say they have to obtain it, but it doesn't.
But that should be the same thing. We require them to have it. If
So
they,
we
even
wanna
if
see it?
even if they don't show it to us, we've required them to have it.
What
But-
do we do on other contracts, like the state do they have to provide?
I mean, typically, as a licensed contractor, they already provide us their insurance as a
You're not
to
worried
get a
about it.
license.
You think that, okay.
Yeah, if we're
just saying.
requiring it, that's not.
I would say anytime he's mowing or anything else, if you walk up to him and say, I need to have a copy of the contract, of the insurance, liability insurance, he's got to provide it right there.
Well, you should have it on hand here at City Hall.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he should have
No,
a
I
copy.
think it should-
There should be one turned
Absolutely.
in.
Copy on
A yearly,
in City Hall.
a yearly deal on, by the first, or whenever.
I understand you saying that, but the contract doesn't say that.
But Craig
That is-
looked at it, didn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Well, And, okay, so going back to the assignment, are you guys okay with 5-2?
We don't, on every other contract, we've got subcontractors, we don't specify with, I mean, I guess if we're being
That we
consistent.
get written approval?
Yeah, like the people that put in the curb and gutter for Hall Brothers.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, you're okay with it?
Yep.
All right, so, those were my questions. Did you guys have any other questions about that?
A comment on 2.2, the word critters, no offense, but critter holes, just,
Well,
That's what they are.
you got badgers, you got
I don't know, it just,
Squirrels, everything else out there that
I'm
digs.
just being,
yeah.
being a bit facetious, but it caught me in, anyway.
critter hole.
So you guys okay with critter holes? Okay, so you, and basically you're okay with this to go out for bid as it is? And on this bid invitation, do we have to fill in these amounts, Austin?
No, that's their bid.
Okay, so, but we have to, or charge a blank for paper copies, and by noon, we put a date in?
Yeah, we'll fill that in.
You'll fill that in?
Yeah.
So,
What are we looking at, 60 days out on this?
Well, the current one is up in February.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got some time.
We want to go early
We'll probably give them
Snow gets too bad, so
Yeah.
they can look.
give them 30 to 60 days to bid on it. And yeah, the idea is to not have ground cover so they can see what they're bidding on.
They probably got a month then.
Yeah.
you want to go ahead and make a motion to move to approve the mowing services for a 3-year contract as presented?
I so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. And I guess, do we need to go ahead and say consensus of the council for you to go ahead and go out for bid for it? Okay.
Advertise.
All right. Is that all right with you guys? All right. The next item is gift certificates. I guess this says full-time and 3 part-time employees. And our
Who are the part-time?
2 police officers and then the 1 part-time employee in water sewer department.
We have a part-time?
And
She
then
was seasonal.
A seasonal.
we've been, because we had,
We hired her as seasonal.
and then we got one of the other guy left, and we have been keeping her on as part-time.
Didn't know
We had an
that.
employee leave?
Yes.
On a water sewer?
Yeah, he was part-time, he worked at Landall's, they gave him a raise and he left.
Oh. I don't think it ever came to the council to change that position from seasonal to
I don't
part-time.
remember anything on it.
Okay, I mean, that's, but she's been working limited hours.
Who is
during the
that?
weeks. Lily, what's her name? Lynch.
Lily Lynch?
Yep.
And what is, she's considered part-time?
She's in the water sewer department.
So we lost a full-time employee
We
there.
lost a part-time employee. We hired him as part-time, and he left. We had those 2 working together, doing fire hydrants and other work. Now we're just left with her.
Well, isn't there something, don't we, part-time employees, doesn't that change the status as far as like capers and all that kind of stuff? How does,
Depending on the hours they work.
so switching a person from seasonal to a part-time,
If it's less than 1,000 hours in a year, then there's no capers.
okay, and
insurance
is that
or
what
any
you're
of that.
going to make sure happens?
Yes. Yeah, she's not gonna hit 999 hours.
How often is she working?
She works a few hours most days. It's I think she works in the morning. And
Because you know, you hate to give them a bonus because you got to put it on their paycheck. If
right.
they ain't working,
No,
they get the
she's
bonus
working
on their
enough.
paycheck,
Yeah,
you know?
we're making sure they're working enough to get taxed. Yeah.
So that's the problem with seasonal employees, they're gone before you give a bonus, and
Right.
you can't tax them on it, so.
Right.
So she's working less than 4 hours a day,
She, yeah, overall, averaging.
5 days a week?
I think she has a couple days off there, and
Okay.
1 or 2.
Because she's working 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's over 1,000 hours.
Yeah, no, she's not working that much.
Does a part-time person get holiday pay?
No, we have that outlined. It's
So a part-time person doesn't
only
get
only if they're
benefits?
scheduled on a holiday, which doesn't happen or only if they work on a holiday.
So a part-time person does not get holiday pay and does not get benefits?
Right.
And they work less than 1,000 hours?
Right.
So are you asking us to transfer that person from seasonal to part-time at this time?
And if that's what's needed. But I mean, she's been working as a part-time, that's what I figured. And that's why I wanted her included on this.
Because we had a hiring freeze, remember?
Yeah.
We talked about that?
Yeah. And these were, I mean, you guys approved these guys.
As a seasonal. Going back to the seasonal, we approved the seasonal.
Yeah,
position.
you approved that one seasonal and the one part-time. We hired the guys part-time.
Okay, well, how do you guys feel about that? Are you guys okay with that transition from a seasonal to a part-time, or do you?
Okay, well, if that's what they need and that's what we had.
Yeah. And it was already, the part-time was approved, and then, yeah.
Okay,
I guess the deal that bothers me is it should have been brought here back when, because
I didn't know we
I
lost a
had no
part-time
idea she
person.
was promoted up. Because to me, a seasonal employee come October 31st, they ought to be out of here.
We still have the seasonal out the dump working as well. They're doing cleanup week this week.
Well, that seasonal, though, would stay open as long as the dump's open, though.
Right.
That has a specific season,
I
just
know
like the
that's-
pool
yeah.
season has a specific season.
Yeah.
And so, and other seasonals, like, when we hire seasonal street and water sewer, we wouldn't expect them to go into December, right? So it's just to clarify, when you transition somebody from seasonal part-time, there's no change in anything other than they can work a few more hours and they're not limited to be released after a period of time. Is that true? Okay.
It should still be approved by the council.
Yes.
So does someone want to make a motion to approve the seasonal person to be transferred to part-time?
Move to approve Lily Lynch from seasonal to part-time in water sewer.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now we can approve the gift certificates as presented because we now have, how many full-time do we have? 32, 34, what do you got?
32.
32 plus 2 part-time? I'm sorry.
part-time, yep.
3 part-time, I'm sorry.
Who's
So,
the third part-time?
There's 2 police officers.
Two reserve
okay.
police officers.
Yeah.
okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the gift certificates for the full-time and part-time employees.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Okay. All right. I'm not aware of any notices or hearings, so the next item is the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Let's see. The only thing you might want to discuss is
Lease agreement.
the lease agreement. Yeah, Debbie did contact, or did they come in?
Before 4 o'clock, I hadn't seen anybody yet, and I don't know after 4.
I was going to ask to see about pulling that for a little clarification on one of the items in the lease.
Which one?
I'm trying to scroll back to it. Give me a second. part about signs. It's number 16. Is that right? In the right section, I think.
Yeah, it's 16. Let me see.
Do you want to discuss that now, or do you want to pull that and talk about it?
We have a motion and second, right? So it's time for discussion.
Okay, well,
We do have a motion
You know,
and
they have the
second.
right to maintain, erect, ordinary, and customary, yada, yada, be approved by the Kester Block Advisory Board. What about the beer flags that strung between columns? The reason I ask is I've had one or two people ask me about it, and is that construed as a sign to kind of think it looks not great on a historic house? And I would tend to agree. So, I mean, that seems like an exterior sign. I doubt it's ever been approved. So, I think that's something worth considering if people think it looks speculative. I kind of agree.
Aren't there also neon signs?
There-
that-
There's an open sign.
There are, and I guess I have less problem with that in the daylight. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't attract in the same way, but that's the point of signs, is to attract attention. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has any concerns about that.
Do you want to, we can have the Kester Block meet and talk about it.
Right, I just want to make sure they are actually getting a chance to,
Yeah, I don't think we've ever
if
discussed
they're okay
that.
with it, I guess that's different.
So,
I don't remember it ever coming up, at least since I've been involved, so.
yeah, we'll put it down to discuss it and bring back the answer to council. That's a good point.
I mean, I'm okay with it being in there as a rule, I just want to make sure we're actually following up with it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And the only other thing, so just to clarify, they are 2 months behind at this point.
Right.
But they committed to pay one immediately and one next week.
Correct.
And then they would be current. So just to let you know. So if they don't come in this week, what's the plan?
Eviction.
Well, we would carry out what's in their lease here under number 17 and provide written notice.
Written notice at that time?
Right.
Okay. So you'll proceed?
Have we had ever delinquency problems before? I know we have with other tenants in other locations, but
No.
Okay.
No.
I think maybe the construction on the steps might have hurt their business a
I'm
little
sure it
bit.
can help.
That's what has
help
to
us.
happen.
The second location too, which
Yeah.
I'm sure
And right, and I don't
What-
think
would you
there's
say
a
about the
railing
second
either
location?
yet.
they opened another, didn't they open another?
That's not
No.
them.
Oh, that's the other, oh, I'm sorry, okay. I'm confusing.
That's okay. I'm sorry, Darlene, I interrupted you.
There's not a railing on the steps.
Right. And you discussed that today, that you were going to get it up and,
Yeah,
It's
they
getting
still
done.
have to mortar out and slide all the stairs together. They can't put a railing on it until, because there's gaps in the steps right now.
I understand there's been delays, but it seems like it's taken an extraordinarily long time.
It-
The
is.
stone was rare, so they had to, for every 6 blocks of stone, they got 1 block of stair. So that was a challenge in getting that done. They're gonna finish it this weekend.
They're being handsomely rewarded for the work, so I just would like, you'd like
No,
to see it done faster.
I know,
Making a lot of
it's,
money.
no, it's, the part that took the longest was the stone, and that
Getting the
was
stone.
unpredictable. They quarried it, or the company quarried it, and then they had to get it perfect, otherwise it wasn't gonna
There's a
work.
lot of breakage in it.
Yeah. So that was,
so they're putting the mortar in this weekend?
yes.
And
And they'll put the pillars back, and Dale is working on getting a railing ready to go. But we can't put a railing in until it's all slid back together.
Okay. Okay.
You gonna put the railing in the steps, or are you gonna put it on the concrete?
Concrete and porch. We're gonna
Yeah, I
avoid the
wouldn't drill
steps.
any
Yes, we
holes in
don't
that.
have,
Yeah,
okay. Just making sure,
yeah.
I mean,
And then
Drill
that-
into our new rock?
yeah.
yeah, and then there's
And chip one or
yeah,
something. while you're
there's
doing it.
a future idea, possibly this next year, of actually conforming the rail to match the wood on the porch instead of just putting a wrought iron which matches nothing. So
I'd rather see the spindles all put in before that.
no, that's with the project next year.
You want to go ahead and talk about that? Have you filed that?
Oh, yeah, I filed for the grant for the Historic Trust Heritage Trust Fund on November 1 when it was due. And I won't find out until February when they approve, and hopefully they approve us.
That's for the floor and the railing?
The deck, the railing, the soffits, and moving, and putting a new chairlift in, and moving it over to the side.
And that was for about $55,000, and we hope they do it. Otherwise, we'll find money in the budget and proceed on.
Go that way?
Yeah.
So hope that the grant comes through.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. The next item is the appropriations ordinance.
I move that the appropriations ordinance number 3662 in the amount of $541.64 be approved. And a couple of the big items in there are the airport apron for $215,091 and the engineering audit for $22,546. Hall Brothers on the highway project, $191,642, and Deep Creek for the North Street water line in the amount of $84,356.
Those are the big items.
Those are some
That's why we
big
had
items.
$808,000. Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I would like to note that Auto Electric, it's where we bought the Linux Central AC for the Art Center. It was $11,208.59, and we were reimbursed, I'm trying to find it, we were reimbursed by Marshall County Arts Cooperative for half of that, and I'd just like to say that thank you to them. They paid that, and it's nice to have it installed and nice to have that taken care of.
It is nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In time for Martin Lucas.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Biesinger,
Yes.
Voss,
Yes.
Ekis,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Schroller,
Yes.
Throm.
Yes.
7-0.
All right, Austin.
Okay. First on my report, had a meeting with the street committee as we discussed going forward with the C-CLIP for 2019. KDOT requested that we start moving forward on the project, and the first piece of the project is selecting the engineer for the design. And KDOT has given us the right, or allowed us to select what engineer we want to use, whether we use KDOT's forms or whatever. And after discussion with the street committee, we believe we should move forward with BG as our design engineer. They completed the application and preliminary design of the project and already have most of the details lined out, and actually were instrumental in getting the $1 million grant that is going to pay for the project, and that was what we came to consensus in the group, and I was bringing that to council's discretion on how to move forward.
Only question I have on it is we need to double check the gas, water, sewer, storm sewer, anything that runs underneath that highway. I mean, we're gonna put a brand new complete concrete street down.
Yes.
It's gonna have a 50-year surface life. We need to make sure everything under that is done before they start that project.
Correct.
I don't wanna do like we did up here on this project, put the manholes in as they're getting the project. We need to have it done
Right.
and in place before this project.
And that was part of the idea. The project actually covers a lot of work that it would take to put in new. Fortunately, we have new water lines running under there. The sewer is getting ready to be lined, and there's
Is that this year?
not this year, but
In 2018?
it's lined out. If not next year, it's in the plans. It's on
We
the
need to
list.
get it checked now to make sure there's no dives or anything in it before this project starts then.
Yes, yes. And
That's what I mean.
Well, actually, yeah, and we can move that up on the CIPP list to go ahead and get it done.
Yeah, and
Like I said, if there's any broken joints or anything, we need to have all that taken care of before this project starts rolling.
okay.
Because we don't, that's like I said, putting in a street that's gonna last us 50 years in a concrete street, we sure don't need to be digging it up to replace a broken sewer line underneath of it. Because
Well, we
it's
can do
something we
water and sewer.
overlooked.
What can we do with gas, though? I mean, we
Oh,
don't,
we're not, no.
you said gas.
I said gas,
Talk to gas service and
talk to
then
gas service, see if they've got anything
Let
going
'em know
on
that
over
what
there
the
and let them
plan
know what's
is.
going
Yep.
on.
they'll find it if they have to dig it up for that,
Yeah.
after that.
Can we have a camera? Can we run a camera down our
Sewers.
lines?
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be done though, so I mean,
Do we usually determine what needs to be done before the CIPP comes in? Or
Yes.
with the preliminary view of them?
Yes.
Tells them what we need to do?
Mhm.
Which one? Do we do it? Do we do it? I know we do the
We
flex
pick
tanks
the lines and then they camera them.
and tell us if we have any repairs.
Yes.
before- Okay.
Yeah.
So, but we probably need to move that up to 2018.
Yeah, and with the expansion of our, because we bumped it up to 200,000, I think we can probably do that.
Because it's only 2 blocks. We're
right,
only doing 2 blocks for
I
1.6
understand,
million.
but it's still,
That's a good reason
it's a
to.
good reason to do it.
Okay.
You know,
So
when
you'll
they
make sure
redid
that
down-
happens in 2018? And the water line, you said it's a fairly new water line?
Yeah, they put a lot of new ones in there.
Along the highway?
Along the highway.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't have to worry about stormwater?
No, that's the one thing we don't know about, so that's,
I know there's one, and I don't know if it's in use, they found it when they dug across there.
the limestone one that's on the
That's the
east
one,
side
yeah.
it's abandoned.
It is for sure.
The
Yes.
one on the east side?
Yeah, there's a limestone,
At Marysville
Storm.
Mutual or,
Where's the push house?
South of Marysville.
oh, by
Yeah.
Marvin Slatter's
Yeah,
house?
and it runs down to the south,
yeah, it runs it runs on
just inside the curb line.
the east side of the highway, all the way along. It's a limestone storm sewer.
And so do we need, is that okay?
Well, it's abandoned. I mean, whether we,
Abandoned.
yeah.
Is
that
it filled
mean?
in?
I think they'll probably dig it out when they redo the
Yeah,
street.
it filled in?
it's not filled
It's
in.
pretty shallow down.
But it's pretty
Then
sturdy,
that would be the
actually.
time to
So-
fill it in.
That's
So
bad.
do we take that one out and put a different type of storm sewer?
No, because there's been other storm sewers put in to compensate.
It's not needed.
Right.
Okay, we have other storm sewers sufficient for those 2 blocks. Okay. All right, good to know. But I think that's a good point, to go ahead and get everything done on 2018. Actually, the C-CLIP begins July 1, 2018, right?
That's when we can bid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to go ahead and get our CIPP bid early then for 2018.
Right.
Because now we're doing CIPP
I was
for,
working on the bid
2017.
documentations, yes.
okay,
Yeah.
good. And so you just make sure this one's included. All right. Good point. Any other discussion? So you want to make a motion to approve BG for the design
I move we
engineer?
approve B&G Design for engineering the 2019 CC LIP project.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
The second one is, we here in City Hall have expressed interest in wanting a squirrel outside of City Hall, and other people have commented, why don't we have a squirrel? And with Commission on Tourism opening back up the process of buying more squirrels, I figured now's the time we can get in and put a squirrel right up front here. And I was kind of get a consensus of the council, if that's what you guys want to do.
How much are those squirrels?
2,000.
Oh, they're up to 2,000?
I think
They
so.
bumped it up?
Well,
Or
it's
does that
gonna
include
be
the
a smaller
artist?
round.
Or does that not include the
I
artist?
think that might, they quoted me $2,000. That's,
That was my other question, is who chooses the artist?
I think they had a list of artists, possibly.
Or they may go to their contests again.
And they might.
Why don't they just leave it black?
Well, we want something on it, come on.
Because then they'd all be the same, man. You see one, you see them all.
That's
Black
right.
black squirrels on it.
We need to make one specific for City Hall, so.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
We
idea.
should
Yeah.
put 2 white stripes on the back.
Does matter.
I think
The fact
some
that
of
we
them-
don't have one up
we
front,
should have
yeah,
There's some of
it's-
them that look nice, and there's
in
some of them that
retrospect.
don't.
Well, yeah, so we'll have to pick an artist that we like. That'll be the next project.
Yep.
Unless you want to recommend one, Bill, before you leave.
I'll
Well,
paint it.
we could
Bridal can.
We could also have input in what kind of design and have the artists.
Yeah, well, April Spicer and have her arts class work on ideas for us. That's not a bad idea.
Or
They've
April
always-
Spicer.
I know, but either way, if her class or her,
We
so.
might have an artist on city staff already, I don't know.
Yes.
We really do.
That's what I was
Who are
thinking.
you talking about?
Hey,
Hey, Mammoth's
Oh.
quite an artist.
Yes, that's
He
right.
lives just down the street.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't know if he's on the approved list, but he's
Yeah, he'll have 4 hours a day.
He's kind of expensive.
Okay. All right, I think that's a yes. Consensus of council is yes. And we want it painted.
Yes.
Consensus of council, not just white. We want ours to be unique too.
There you go.
All right, third item is financials. I'd like to draw your attention to the general fund, and as it is $5,886 above the ending balance of October 2016. So we are moving in the right direction as far as that. We've been waning from 16,000 below to 10,000, getting within 10,000, but now we're above as far as ending balance. Sales tax is holding steady, but as you know, today we approved quite a few purchases, so that's gonna drop a few $100,000.
We're funding the Clink project out of the sales tax,
Yep.
but we get 300,000 back at the end of the project.
Yep.
So depending on when it ends, when it comes, as long as you're talking about that, you want to talk about the blacktop real quick, talk about Clink,
Okay. Well, okay.
just the temperature part.
The
Have you guys been having questions about why we're not finishing it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's why I asked them. What temperature?
First of November, I thought.
no, I don't. They were planning on it, but they had 35 working days to get it done, and it was delayed by the cement contractor. But the rule is, according to KDOT and according to our inspector, the temperature has to be 40 degrees or above to lay down asphalt.
I thought it was 60, so,
I thought it was too. I had that discussion with him today.
but he said 40, so.
40.
I told him he better pin that to that bill.
And from what I heard, it used to be 50, but apparently regulations change, and there's also a caveat to that they can't roll, or they can't put down the asphalt if they don't roll it by the time it's 175 degrees. The asphalt itself.
You mean that it cools?
Yeah, it can't cool below 175 and then them
To
roll
roll
it. So they have to get on top of it, but the asphalt is right there. They're short trip and they have tarp covered trucks, so that's not an issue with them.
The parts that's laid is nice. The 1/4 of
Yeah,
half of the road.
so
So there we have the answer, so when our constituents ask us why it's not done, we're hoping and praying it gets done in the
Right.
next week or two.
I hope so.
I'm thinking our snow plows will really do a number on those manholes.
Oh, you
If
think?
not,
We're supposed to, once it's all done, we'll get all the manholes leveled out. Maybe, and hopefully it'll be a smoother ride.
Are they gonna do some more concrete work down there by Mike's Okay?
On the curb?
on the curb?
Yeah, there was a piece they needed to fix up, and they were gonna go back, because the concrete people are gonna come back to fix a storm sewer over here, because they needed to wait for the asphalt to be put in before they could go in and fix it. So they'll be back for that, as well as they'll form up that one down there.
You were pointing at the sales tax.
Sales
That's how we
tax,
got
sales
off.
tax gonna drop, just because we're paying for projects now. But it still should be in decent shape. The sewer fund is now $3,403 above the October 2016 ending balance. It's one of those funds that was doing the same thing as general fund, staying with like below 10,000, but now we've exceeded the previous year. And the water fund is still increasing and is $81,250 above October 2016 ending balance.
Yeah, buddy.
We talked a little bit today about the set sewer and about the sewer revenue fund not increasing as much as we anticipated based on the slight increase we gave that didn't affect the base. But we don't really, since we're paying off the big debt in March of 2018, we don't really feel like we need to adjust it. Are you guys okay? It's at 4/29. It's still, how many days is it? It's at 145 days, although the CIPP is coming out of that though.
Let's see, what did I swell this out? Oh, look at the project. What does that say?
Sewer replacement.
Sewer replacement.
So that's coming out of the
The replacement.
reserve
Yeah,
fund.
this year will be out of reserve, next year will be out of.
So we don't have anything else that's gonna hit the sewer revenue fund? Okay.
We're setting good then for the rest
Then
of
we're
the year.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and as you were pointing out previously, earlier today, that during the non-set sewer months, water use was down. But during set sewer months, water use was
Water was
up.
really high,
Water
so
was
it's
really-
like,
so
our water fund was getting bigger and bigger.
People are either getting the idea that to limit their water usage during the non-set sewer months, or that's just how weather plays. But that's just what the sewer's done.
Turn the
So
sprinkler
at this
systems off.
time, you don't think we'll look at the rates or make any changes at this time? Because I had a call about how our process.
In regards to the rates, comparing them to our, even though the rate increases haven't boosted our sewer fund, the sewer fund's still sitting and actually increasing. So I think the rates as they stand in regards to having money on hand, we're fine. As far as any other phone calls, I don't know. That's a prerogative choice, I guess, if the council wants to look at them, especially in the case of the phone call that you received.
Mayor?
We talked a little bit about the set sewer is the 6 months on and 6 months off. And when we looked at the water usage of the 6 months off, it was down significantly, so. But your concern is more like the resident that called you was more interested in if they didn't use any water to get their sewer waived, and that's a totally different issue. I'm sorry, Vicki, I interrupted you.
Oh, no, my question, will you remind me what the large debt that we'll be paying off in March of 18 and how much money it will free up?
It's,
Do you know for sure?
you have your budget?
The large, it's,
$268,000 a year, so we only have to pay half of it in 2018, so I
And
think
that
it's
Breeding Heights.
$138,000.
then
And then Breeding Heights is the only one that's left.
okay, Breeding
It's the lagoon one, east
Oh, yeah,
side.
lagoons.
It's a lagoon?
Yeah, that we're paying off, the east side lagoons. East
Thank
side
you.
and lagoons.
Yeah.
But then we'll have to think about dredging or
Yeah.
whatever we'll have to do in the future for the lagoon.
That's the future, yes. we would have to monitor that as we go.
We still have though, let's see.
We're going to start that till 2020, will we? To start the lagoons again? 2020?
They'll test it.
They'll test it. There's a chance that we wouldn't have to ever dredge it. There's lagoons that,
Really?
since they've been built, they're 30, 60, 80 years old, however old they were. They're just such a good ecosystem that they eat up what's there, and they've never been dredged.
We have 745,000 in there right now, and the cost to dredge one was about $500,000, but we weren't projecting it until possibly 2022 or 2024. So we still have a long ways out to.
So what's the state's deal on the pumping out of the lagoon into the river? I know at one point they were trying to get all that shut off, so we might possibly have to build a fifth cell.
From the last, I mean, they're always
I know they're
threatening.
people changing, I know.
From my experience, they've been harping on the mechanical plants.
so much.
Not so much on the lagoons. They love lagoon systems. They'd rather everybody have a lagoon system if possible. Right now, they're concentrating on getting high efficiency mechanical systems around the state. Eventually, they might come to discharging lagoons, but right now, that's not their concern.
Well, I know during the summer, ours discharges very little. It's mainly in the,
Right.
Yeah, I
The-
was
the
trying to
winter
figure out,
months when
can you deepen your lagoon, make it deeper,
There's some actually,
and just not, hopefully not have to disperse?
well, there's some good ideas. We can irrigate with the water to lower the, so you can water around the lagoons.
So we don't release any?
Right. And that, I mean, there's some approved methods of actually relatively low-cost ideas that we can do instead of, although we planned for it, instead of putting a new lagoon cell in or do whatever other costs.
I noticed that we in the highlights, I believe it said a couple times, it's a couple months, we didn't release anything this summer.
Right.
So we can probably try to make that happen.
It was so dry, according to Kent, that there wasn't anything to release.
Yep.
Good discussion.
Yep. So I feel we're doing pretty good on financials. Any other discussion on the financials?
As you can see on page 73, most of our projects are done now, except CIPP,
Yep. And they're almost done.
and the airport construction is almost done as well, so.
And all they have left is seating, so.
They're gonna try to see it this fall or wait till spring?
They had a plan. Something about December 1 and a seed bed time frame. So we're going to talk about that when we do a walkthrough next week, I believe. So, they have a plan for it.
Do you know when they're gonna do that crosswalk project?
No, they haven't contacted us with the time frame. They've only executed some contracts.
I heard it was March 1st.
March 1st.
Oh, we're gonna wait till March 1st? They asked us to pay that $55,000 now, and they're gonna start March 1st?
Yep. So they can put
They're
that.
gonna hold our money for 5 months?
They can put that in a bank and gain interest on it.
Yeah,
Yes, they can.
I guess that's what they get.
$2 off it.
Go get $10.
Okay.
Okay, fourth item on my list is requesting December 26th as a day off, and this serves two faults. One, Christmas is on a Monday, and celebrating on Christmas Day, having people come back the very next day is, I believe, a challenge. I mean, in my case, it is, I'd make it back, but I'm coming from Southwest Kansas, so you can see it. But like I said, I wouldn't have a problem getting back. But giving our guys and ladies the extra day would be beneficial for them. The second would be one more extra day to gather bills, so we don't have to have another meeting or anything like that as far as council.
To clarify, when he says that, is that our council meeting is scheduled for that Monday, and our code says you roll it to the next business day, which would take it to the 26th. So if they're closed on the 26th, then we would roll our meeting to the 27th.
And just so we can catch as many bills as possible and have everything paid, and it would make our auditor extremely happy, apparently.
So they'd probably have a appropriations ordinance in the packet, and then they'd probably give us a second one at the meeting on the 27th, and then we wouldn't have a special meeting that week.
Right.
So otherwise, we'd have to have a special.
It isn't based on the amounts, or what determines whether we have a special meeting? We've had them sometimes, and sometimes we
Yeah,
haven't.
sometimes we can get everything in, sometimes.
You just look if
depends
there's a
on what-
significant
yeah.
bill? Well, hopefully it's not that Hall Brothers one, so we will have a special meeting now.
So like I said, twofold, but I mean, if you can consider this as the most important portion, increasing our employees' sanity, that would be, and more time with their family, I think that would be very beneficial.
I don't know, I've worked most of my life until I had my own business, and I never did get an extra day off with pay. Sometimes I got off on Christmas Eve, but I never did, and I'm not in favor of it.
Well, I am the lame
Start
duck.
giving extra days off here and there, that adds up to a few $1,000s there we're paying the guys to
Do
in the
nothing.
budget too. Taxpayers are paying for it.
Yeah, I am the lame duck, so I can be the bad guy.
I am too.
That would be a 4-day weekend, and as far as wanting the extra day off or liking to have the day off after Christmas, that's what your vacation days are for. If you want it, you can take it then, but to just give it, I think it's a day of lost production. And as far as one more day to get bills in, you just don't start doing the bills until that day, until you get the bills in that day. It's not like you have to have the day off paid in order to give one more day for the bills to come.
But the point is, on that, is that you would have that council meeting on Tuesday. It gives that extra day for bills to come in that we can have, because not all bills arrive when we
They
want them to.
never do.
Yeah.
They
so-
never do. We always go into the new year without all the bills having been taken care of in the previous year. That happens. Huh? Darlene, what do you think? What do they do in the banking industry?
They would work.
Oh, shoot. Banks get some of the
Yeah, that's
holidays.
'cause they're not the other holidays.
Not the banks I work for.
You will.
I've even worked till 6:30 on New Year's Eve.
Me too. Nope.
Well, if you don't give it, well, our council meeting will be on the 26th. Just FYI, if you do give it, it'll be on the 27th.
You can change it.
We can change it.
Yeah, you can.
Well, according to our
We'll just have
ordinances,
to-
it says it has to be on the
Day
next
after.
business day. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was requested, so I think we should vote, so I'll make a
Be here
motion.
the 26th, so that's not hard for me.
I'll make a motion that we give the employees, the staff off the 26th.
Okay. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Vision items?
Was it just 2 noes?
5-7,
5-2?
5-2.
5-2? Okay. So they have a day off, so our council meeting will be Wednesday, the 27th.
Then I have a question, what about after New Year's?
They haven't requested it, and I don't think we'll bring it up. How about that? We don't have a council meeting that day. Our big council meeting's the second Monday, so. Okay, What else do you have, Austin?
Okay. I put a couple things on the desk. The first, I would like to sell a piece of property that we don't use. All we do is mow. The map right here, I kind of highlighted with red marker to signify the area. It would be more, there's no house there right now. These are old pictures. Obviously, the railroad's not going through there. It's 7th and Walnut. And I'd like to get it back on the tax rolls and stuff, spending taxpayer money on mowing it. I would get it more refined if possible, as far as following the path of the trails as the back edge of the property, giving it the trail leeway, but still seeing if I can.
You'd say you would move this in?
You'd wedge it out.
Yeah, I'd wedge it out. So the trail pretty much follows that, so I kind of wedge it along there.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Is that the trail that runs around the park?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm looking to put it up for sale, and the way I would, the most fairest way I would put it up for sale would be sealed bids, and just advertise it, put it in the paper, for anybody interested to throw in a bid and send it in. We'd open up the bids on a certain day, whatever specified day. I give at least a month, if not 2. I'd probably give a month for response.
You could reshape a parcel?
That's if possible. I mean, that's,
You might have it surveyed.
yeah. We'd have to
There will be
spend,
some cost.
there would be some costs on our side to get it how we need it to be, or how ideal.
Is this suitable for construction of a home? I mean, is it a big enough plot by the
Yes.
time it's sectioned
Yes.
off?
Yes.
How is it zoned?
R3.
It's not a whole ton of room.
There's 2 lots in there. So if
Well, it's, by the time we trim it, it'll be one.
no, it's not.
quarter.
It's not. It's actually adding once we trim.
Oh,
So
because
portions of number 4.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yep. So
I'd say I'd be okay, but I'd want to reject. I mean, can we reject all bids?
we can reject all
I would like
bids.
to make sure we reserve that in case we get not very much interest in.
No one
Because this
said
is something that's right on top of the trail and right on top of the park. And, it's contiguous to a lot of projects that we already have.
So a sealed bid with ideas of what to do with it.
I mean,
Put a
yeah,
minimum? Can you put a
Yes.
minimum on a sealed bid?
crazy you get.
We can still
Can't put
reject,
minimum.
we could still
We can
reject.
with the rights to reserve, or with
Yeah.
the ability to reject any bid. Yeah.
And plus two, it is, like I said, contiguous to things we have already spent a lot of money on, so.
Right.
I think it would be better to not do that and just let it go for whatever, because it's gonna bring, we're spending money mowing it now. And that's a once a week deal. Somebody has to go down and mow this. We did not get any tax money off of it, where if we sell it for what we get tax money and eliminate the mowing of that piece of property.
Right.
I guess the worst case scenario would be somebody put a container on there.
Well, I mean, I just,
It's
Okay, we have a
it's
moratorium, I
R3.
know.
It's R3.
Thank you.
I think it, I don't know. Like I said, just because it's next to a place we've already developed, I'm a little more concerned than I'd be if it were allotted Elm and, 2nd Street or whatever. Given its location, I think it deserves a little more attention than normal. That's my
I don't
opinion.
think once
You can,
specify what they're gonna do with it?
No.
R3.
So how do you
seems like-
determine that?
Well, and depending on what they do with it, we may not get much off the tax rolls for, I don't really know.
and if whoever bought it went and turned the lots the other way, you could put 2 houses in there too.
Right, well, I mean, and with the bids, we might, based on who they are, have some pretty good guesses of what their plans are, I would imagine. I just think the ability to reject. I've seen some properties
put
sell
that
for
in there.
nothing.
I really don't. I think it ought to be sold and
Well,
with no,
that way they know we're serious. I mean, what if two people put in bids and one's for $500 a lot and one's $200 a lot? I mean,
that's more than we're getting now,
but
and less than we're paying.
what's it cost us a year to mow it? I mean, can you put a calculation on that?
Yeah, but it's my personal, I know I shouldn't put my personal opinion on it, but I'm kind of leaning over here. You get, even if we only spend $5 a year mowing it, you switch it around, you get $10 in tax money automatically.
You find that guy that mows it for $5 a year and send him out of my house.
We can't do that with our street crew. I mean, our parks and cemetery.
With all the buyouts, exactly why can we not, since they're now out of the flood zone,
FEMA regulations.
but couldn't FEMA change that?
Yeah, if you can get the federal government to change it.
Darlene, I think you should go to
Proceed.
DC and lobby.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
great.
think we have to pay the money back at some percentage or something. Is that correct?
I think whatever they paid those people, they'd have to give that back to the people to have that. Whatever the government paid for the destruction of their building and/or property, they would have to pay that back before they developed it. So that would be the cost of the lot.
Ooh, that would be expensive.
Yeah.
Nobody would want to do
But on the
that.
flip side, it'd be, I think we talked to Jerry Moran about this a couple of years ago, when he was in town, and
What did he say?
that, to try to get FEMA laws changed, I don't know, he didn't seem too optimistic.
He did not.
But we can certainly write another letter. I wish those FEMA lots, it's sad that whole area.
Well, there's a bunch of nice lots down there that people could, that would be, you go and put a new foundation, build a house on.
Yeah, there's streets and
Water,
curb and
sewer, yes.
storm sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Being specials.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to this picture at hand.
Do you have any idea what the cost to have it surveyed? What our expense would be?
I don't know. That would have been my next question, because
Tony's here.
Tony?
Tony know about
Can you
that?
ballpark that? What's it cost to survey 2 lots?
$1,000. I really probably look on the survey and stuff.
that'd be another question I'd ask. That's,
Right.
we could always reject the bids if it never comes out.
I'm okay. I'd make a motion that we proceed with setting up a sealed bid process. And so long as the process came to us to unseal the bids and with us reserving the right to reject any and all bids for whatever reasons the council sees fit.
I'll second that.
And to proceed with the survey of the property?
And to proceed with the survey of property in preparation for the sealed bid process.
Second. And you said second? Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0, okay. I guess we shouldn't give up on those FEMA lots. Maybe you can write a letter, Debbie, and try to sound really forceful that we would really like to have those.
Okay, all right, my last item I threw on the table, Michelle Weitzel went around and surveyed downtown businesses along Broadway and provided this map. And now she has a whole bunch of comments that each of these business owners made, but to simplify everything, this map shows in color-coded sequence those who were really in favor of trees, those who were indifferent or basically said yes, we didn't care, and then those who were really not in favor. Green was really in favor. Yellow was indifferent, and red was totally not in favor. Do not put a tree in front of my business, please. And as I reported in one of my highlights previously, the results were surprising. I'd always thought I was getting people's feedback saying that we don't want trees downtown, all this other stuff. But if you take a look at this map, most of downtown is in favor or indifferent to trees being put in the vicinity of their businesses.
So the ones that are white, just they couldn't get a hold of them?
Couldn't get a hold of them, or they're open, because there's the Doll Museum, there's an open right next to, that's the...
Right. Well, I see like the chamber offices on here. It would have seemed like the chamber could have been gotten a hold of, but... You know.
Michelle tried her best to get a hold of everybody.
Okay.
And
So
there's
red
this...
was no, green was yes, correct?
Yes.
Yellow's
Yellows,
whatever.
maybe.
Whatever.
Yellows
Don't care.
It was yeah, it was don't care, go, as long as just had questions of what was going to happen after the tree was there. So
I think that's a lot of, some of the people I talk to that talk to me about it, who's gonna upkeep the trees, they're
and that was
trim them and all that,
Yes.
that was a concern I had.
yeah, and that was in my initial plan was one, have the whatever company install the trees, and then them take care of it for the first at least 2 years with the watering and maintenance. Following that, once the trees got into age, recommend hiring an arborist, seasonal arborist, to not only take care of downtown, but to maintain a lot of trees around the city that are on our properties. And that would be year 3 or 5, somewhere in there. Because currently we have a policy, apparently, that businesses upkeep the trees, and as you can tell, there are businesses that really like the tree that's out front, and there are businesses that really don't like the tree that's sitting out front, and you can tell which one is which. And it's, the idea was to get one entity, i.e. the city, because it is a city streetscape, and everybody's interested in making downtown look really nice. Just having that control and the maintenance over it, that was the idea.
So what blocks are you really thinking about doing?
Currently, from Pony Statue down to headed east, wherever we have the actual openings current. That would be the idea to start it out. If
So
we
you're
wanted
saying
to,
7th Street East
yeah.
to 10th or
12th
up?
Street.
9th.
Well, we
to
have
12th?
ones that keep going down to 11th. There's one tree in between 11th and 12th, but I don't think there's any boxes in there. But we have at least down to 11th. There are tree spots
Stopping at 11?
at the very least.
And only putting them where there's existing.
Yes, existing spots,
So the little green circles are existing spots?
existing trees.
Existing trees.
Yeah, some of them are crossed out. This was
Spots that are open.
This was done previously to some of the improvements. There are some red spots that there were trees, they're just not trees now. And then there's possibility of where bricks are, that we could put trees there as well. And the idea, which is, I mean, I'd say a good ideal is 3 to 4 trees per block on each side. 3 is pretty good. It doesn't have to be uniform, because when you look from one side, you're just going to see trees. You're not going to go, that tree's directly across from that tree. It's just, it'll give you a good look at downtown.
So can you just give us one more drawing to show where you're gonna put the trees?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to
So you
see.
want 3 or 4 per block?
Yeah, on Broadway. On the side streets, if there's 2 spots on each side, that we'll put 2 trees.
So
If
just-
not,
If not, then if there's locations, wherever there's locations on those side streets.
And I would say probably continue reaching out to some of these that I haven't got a hold of. I mean, especially like on some of the side streets, I see on A Street, there's a couple of open boxes by like the Pony Museum and Dr. Gray's office, you know, especially in those locations, it'd be good to continue trying to reach out to these people.
Right.
So give us a little one more picture
Okay.
of where you're gonna put the trees. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Are we gonna do the sidewalks, putting them in, cutting the sidewalks and,
No, where existing spots are.
yeah, but the here, I mean, over
if you
here.
put new
New
4
ones.
trees in a block or 3, you're gonna have to dig more holes.
You can identify where you're gonna have to break the concrete,
Yeah.
okay?
I mean, are they gonna pay for it, or are we pay, the city paying for it to put the boxes in to put the tree in? Because I know one guy that I talked to was not in favor of it, because he put new sidewalks down a couple of years ago, and he didn't want nobody coming in there and cutting his sidewalks
Right.
up.
The idea would be not to have to cut sidewalks. Just trying to put where existing boxes are,
And go from there.
where the bricks are at, yeah, and go from there.
Okay,
Existing trees that are there.
Leaving the healthy existing trees.
okay. So you mark that too?
Yeah, we'll mark it. Yeah.
Proposed trees plus healthy trees. Healthy remaining, whatever.
Yep.
7th through 11th. Okay? Good work. Good work.
Thank you to Michelle. She did a lot of
Thank you,
footwork.
Michelle.
Think that was all I had.
I talked to Austin briefly today about, we should go ahead and make a proposal for a TA project for a Brick Street. So do you guys want to have them do it in front of Cromie's? Is that your highest priority right now?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
5th and 6th?
14th and 15th.
Well, that would be the next one.
The next one.
Yeah. But you know,
Holes.
I hate to say anything, but they put enough of that asphalt in there, it's not so bad. But I'm sorry,
It's still terrible.
it's
I still
bad.
get complaints about it.
Okay, well, we'll do this one and so we'll get that done.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and I mentioned to Austin that we didn't do a workshop in September, and I pulled the agenda from last year when we did it. And last year, we did all our 5-year plans for each department: water, sewer, street, cemetery, and parks. And with so many new people coming on council, I thought it'd be nice for us to at least have something to present to them as a start. So are you guys okay with having a workshop maybe early December? That's what, because I think we should give them something, otherwise we have 4 new council people coming on. All
Don't you
right?
think they should be invited to that meeting?
Well, they'll be invited, of course,
That's fine.
yeah, because it's an open meeting, so, and I think we
Well,
would encourage them to
encourage
come.
I know Terry will be there, and I know Diane will be there, because they've been diligent and they've been present
But I
at a lot of
think-
these meetings.
I think it'd be nice to have something to give to them, so. And the last thing is, I talked to Austin today, and I didn't realize that we don't do a review for him in December. We did one in June, and I thought we had another one in December, but we don't have one until next June. So do you guys want to do an informal one on December, just a midway, not the whole paperwork thing, but just go into executive session and talk a little bit in December, first meeting in December? Okay, nothing written or anything, just kind of, you guys okay with that? You get an informal review in December. You want that, don't you, Allison? He doesn't look too excited.
Not really.
It's going to be positive. Okay, so we'll do that the first meeting of December, so kind of have your thoughts together, and we'll do that. City Clerk, do you have anything?
I don't tonight, thank you.
Okay, we will move along to standing committee reports. Anything for street? Oh, I was going to do, well, we can do that now. This was Curtis Hawkinson, the CEO, right? Or hospital administrator, CEO, hospital, anyway. He asked me, I met with him, and he wanted to make sure that we would give a update after 5 years. It's been 5 years since they had this memorandum of understanding, and it basically was between Community Memorial Healthcare and the City of Marysville. And it kind of states that they're going to provide indigent care to our community. And with that, they receive this discount drug program, Section 340B. It's a governmental program. It does not apply to Social Security or Medicare recipients, but it applies to other people, other indigent users of their facility and drugs that they receive from the community. So basically, they just want me to say, we're still in favor of them as a city. They have to have a governmental entity say, we're in favor of them providing this service. So I just wanted you to read the memorandum of understanding, since it was done 5 years ago and very few of us were there on council then. And I'm supposed to be receiving an email from them saying that we just want them to continue providing that service. Are you guys okay with that?
We should do a consensus? A consensus?
Consensus, yeah, to go ahead and support that. All right.
Mayor?
Yes.
You talked about a workshop, but you didn't say a date. You asked about a workshop in December?
Early December?
But you didn't establish a date?
Well, our council meeting is on the 11th. So do you want to make it on the 4th? We usually do it on a Monday, don't we?
How come the 4th's in red? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong month.
I'm like,
Never mind.
so December 4th, that'd be like 2 weeks after, that would give them 3 weeks to prepare 5-year. Think they can do that? 5-year projections? They have a starting point. They have what they had, and they can update it. And, so you want to do December 4th?
I'm good with that.
5 o'clock, 5:30?
Todd, what time is good for you?
On December 4th,
Uh-huh,
5:15.
5:15?
Not right at 5, but shortly thereafter.
Okay, we'll do 5:15 on that Monday? Okay. Thanks for clarifying. Okay. Street Committee?
I don't have anything.
Water Sewer? Parks and Rec, I just want to say, I did get some numbers from Debbie and Austin on the concessions final. It was basically a break even after taking consideration salaries. Before taking into consideration salaries, we had income, but by the time you balance, but still, it was a break even, which is the best we've had.
It is, absolutely.
So, thank you for the managers for that. And one other thing to follow up from prior meetings was the CPR training. And the CPR training has when Maria came forward and said, we'll make a little money on the deal after her salaries and everything. And what's been done this year, I think the city made $500. So at least it's paid for the supplies and things and her salary, which is what she promised.
I got a question about CPR training. Does the city offer CPR training for all of its employees?
They can take it.
They can take it?
Yeah.
I think they ought to be required to take it.
Is that in the personnel manual or anything? No?
Fire department does now.
Fire department does it?
Yeah, but a lot of times the fire department's not here if somebody has a heart attack out here.
Does that come into play with our KMIT on safety? If we did it?
I mean, that's fine.
So,
It'll cost,
It's like $35, I think.
$35 a person.
I think it'd be money well
It's a couple of
spent.
hours, yeah.
Yeah, we probably should do that. Or you probably wouldn't want to do all our employees at the exact same time, but you can do a rotation there. Good point.
Did they
Okay.
get the stuff at the swimming pool done yet?
They were working on it.
The winterization, is that what you're talking
No,
about?
the caulking around all
The
the
caulking, they had to wait for a good day because it takes for drying and curing on
I
that.
understand.
So
Gotta have it this week.
They better get it, because they ain't gonna turn around time. It's gonna get too cold for it.
right,
Is that water sewer doing that?
yeah.
And on street, I should say that I noticed that you guys are working on that Timber Creek and Ashbury corner, so it looks better. I can see you're making progress, so continue on. Cemetery and Airport, went out there and saw the work that's been done. It looks impressive, looks good. Anything else?
On the airport, I had made a comment to Austin that after all this work that we've done and all the money we've spent on this airport, what really needs to be done are those hangars. The hangars just look like 10, it looks awful approaching the airport with those 10 hangars. And Austin, you wanna say what you said?
They're in the plans to be replaced in the future.
In the plans to be replaced in the future? How far in the future?
I forget what year, but they're in our 20-year plan.
Okay, so it could be 20 years before we do anything about it?
Don't they own them?
How do you
No.
force tenants? Yes, the buildings are owned by the people
Yeah.
who sit on top of
Well,
land.
I mean,
He said we own.
there's a plan to build new ones. Let's put it that way.
Okay, to build new hangars.
Yeah.
But you can't make people who have corrugated
We
tin
can,
paint their tin.
Can you paint them?
Why not?
Can you
can't.
just paint them?
Yes.
Because-
yeah,
They
you
look
can.
terrible out there. They're rusted, they look ratty compared to
Okay,
what the
first of
money
all,
we
they
put
aren't
into
all
the
the
airport.
same. Equal.
I don't care.
Second, if you're charging
Paint 'em.
people out the wazoo for land rent on a little tiny piece of an acre, I think it'd be a little unequitable to start forcing them to paint things a certain way.
Well, if they'd use them
Oh
for
my
paints instead of
gosh.
storage.
You mow that
This
grass
is
out
more-
there? The people?
Yeah, it's a
weed around
violation of
mine.
FAA for anything to be
weed
stored on an
mine.
airport.
Otherwise, it doesn't get weed eated.
And a lot of them are being stored
Storage
junk.
units.
Yeah,
No, that's true.
that's wrong.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, of all the things that look like crap around here, I think the hangars are probably the least of it.
Can we just spray paint them?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
How hard would that be?
you get in the habit of painting corrugated, you're gonna be painting corrugated forever.
Well,
Is that right? That doesn't
my
hold?
brother-in-law just
Galvanizing,
How long will it last?
Maybe a year.
a year or two?
That's it?
You gotta wash it down with acid in order to get a good
Yeah.
paint job on it for
And
you.
then
Oh.
the heat beating on it
Peels it.
peels it. And,
Oh,
yeah.
my brother-in-law just painted his, and I remember getting after my husband about it needed it. When the overpass was completed, so that was the last time it was painted. It's the big Quonset hut that you can see as you come into town.
From the west?
Well, they just painted that? But you don't, but you don't know how long they expect that to last?
Well, it was, when was the overpass open? At least 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah,
Been longer than 10
So you think
years.
it's 10 years?
Longer.
Well, we should
at
probably
least.
see how long it went on our
15.
plan, how many years out it is.
I've been here 12 years.
But you know,
It's
if we
done
put all
before.
new hangars out, aren't we gonna bump up the rental rate?
You ain't
A
gonna
lot.
put new,
Oh, yeah.
not all of them. You're gonna tear the old
Tell
ones
you
down
what,
and
the
put
city
them up.
wants to come buy my hangar, they can come do it.
Everybody go out and take a look at that. I'm telling you, the approach and the money we put into that airport, it's a class-looking act out there except for those hangars. They're rusting, they just look frightful. I know they protect your, I'm sorry, Todd, they protect your plane, they're suffice for what they're meant
And
for.
they aren't all the same, and you're right, the one that has its door hanging off and things, that does look like crap, I'll agree. Because we'd say the same thing about a house that had its front of it hanging off.
So does the
I'll credit
lease,
that, yeah.
so
It
does
might
the
say
lease say
something
you have to maintain it in a,
We'll look at it.
That's a good question. If nothing else, they should be sealed up.
yeah.
I mean, that's just, I mean,
You wanna check the lease on those,
I would
Debbie?
keep mine unsealed up.
I'll help you paint, I'll volunteer.
You can do the acid wash part.
I've asked to wash the pool, I'll do that.
Okay, police and fire, admin and finance?
Have we received an update letter of credit from Inline? Because their letter of credit that we had was only good for 1 year
Is that
from the
true?
bank.
But we asked for, when we knew there was gonna take a little bit longer, we asked for a new one.
Did we ever
When
get
we
it?
extended the street repairs or the street
Yeah.
improvements?
Street improvements.
You think we did?
I was fairly certain because I remember the conversation he came in. Why? Yeah, I think we actually.
You want to find out
Okay.
if we have one that still is in effect? Because somebody asked me why they didn't have to put streets in yet, and I remembered that the key was that we were looking ahead and let them develop it out a little bit and know where their water and sewer lines were.
And make sure it settles. That was the main one.
So,
It was a year. It wouldn't hurt for it to be like that another year.
okay. The admin finance appointments and wages, I don't know if anything, city attorney's not here, and is anybody aware of an executive session?
No, Mayor, but may I ask where we are on the intermodal containers?
Darlene?
Well, Debbie and I need to do some work.
Do some work on it? Okay. All right.
Will it be done by next meeting? Can we discuss it next meeting?
It's tough because next meeting's Thanksgiving, next week's Thanksgiving, so she'll try. You'll work on it, right? Give us an update? Okay, so I have no roundtable, no executive session, so we'll do roundtable. I just wanted to read our Arbor Day proclamation. We had our Arbor Day. Vicki was there, where Darlene was there, Debbie was there, Denny was there,
Terry was
Diane
there?
was not, Terry was there. Anybody else there? And Todd, your daughter was there, Kanta, and some of our cemetery and parks. So they put the tree in, it's between the parking lots at the, and I'm gonna read our Arbor Day proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees reduce erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, which we're doing. Maybe we should do that as part of our Arbor Day next year. Okay, and beautify our community, and whereas the city of Marysville has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for over 30 consecutive years, and desires to continue its tree planting practices, now therefore I, Carla Gren, Mayor of the City of Marysville, do hereby proclaim November 9th, that was last Friday, as Arbor Day in the City of Marysville, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated this 9th day of November 2017. Mayor Carla Gren.
Very nice.
So I do think we should tie this to our tree planting next year. You put that on a reminder?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that'd be a great idea. Okay, so Arbor Day, I did the memo of understanding, and the last thing I had, I think, is Election Day. I just wanted to thank everyone for participating. We had 909 voters in the city of Marysville, and there's 1,973 registered voters. I asked Sonia Stowe at the county clerk. So we had 46% vote, and I believe she said she would be delighted if we had 35. So Marysville came out strong, and it's more than the last two local elections. So this was the first year it was moved to November, so it's good that we had a lot of voters out. And I just want to thank everyone who voted for me, and I promise to continue to serve diligently, honestly, and with integrity. So, Now we'll start Vicky. I'm not used to going to you first. Vicky.
I know, but Todd's over there with a cold, and I didn't want to sit by him. The only thing I have to say is an election was run. I think a good election, a race was run by everybody involved. As it is protocol for the incumbent, in the case of a loss, which I lost my race to Jason Barnes. He's a very busy man. I had to chase him around to give my concession, but I did find him one night, and I offered my concession of the race and my congratulations to him and wished him good luck. And I wish that for every person, Terry Hughes, Diane Schroller, Bobby Pippa. Did I miss anybody? I wish them good luck, and these are excellent people to work with, the ones that are left. Who did I miss?
No, I just want to make sure you have all four.
And I congratulate you, Mayor, and wish you good luck in your future here.
Thank you, and you're a class act, Vic.
Well, thank you, Carla. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Darlene?
Well, this week is street and
that's true.
cleanup, and hopefully there's going to be good days because I've got 2 yards to clean up, and hopefully my neighbors will remember it's cleanup week.
So it started today, right? And it runs through Friday. And it has to be all yard waste, right?
Trees and leaves.
Trees and
branches and leaves.
And is there any restriction on the branches?
Yeah.
They have to be cut where they can pick them up.
Yeah, where 2 people can pick them up.
Okay, so branches have to be that, at least that size, or smaller.
And boxed and bagged.
Do they have to be boxed?
No, the
Leaves
leaves
do.
do, limbs don't.
Okay. Anything else, Darlene?
No.
Brad?
Just one thing, since Michelle was here earlier, wanted to comment, the new website, Visit Marysville, looks really nice.
It's pretty amazing.
From a consistency perspective, in terms of looking at like other cities, obviously we don't have nearly as much content as an Emporia, Wichita, or Kansas City would, but it's very consistent with that kind of format, and it looks very nice, and the photos of all the restaurants and businesses and retail stores, and
she showed it. You should go to it if you haven't
It's
seen it,
nice.
because she showed it at the
today was
Convention and Tourism meeting, and it was pretty impressive.
It looks good, so congratulations for getting that up and running. So
I'd say we're lucky to have Dave Olding. I've got a lot of compliments about the speech he gave for Veterans Day.
He did an excellent job.
I think he's a pretty nice person.
Yeah, country first. That was his line, country first. So thank you for mentioning that. He did a great job, and we're lucky to have him on our force. Anything else? Todd? Todd's sick? No, thank you. Denny?
I don't have anything.
Kevin?
No, I do not have anything, no.
Okay, I would entertain a motion. Oh, Debbie.
I'll be at clerks conference from Wednesday to Friday. And actually, David Oley is coming to teach the clerks, so.
He is? What's he going to teach him?
Frontline self-defense.
Awesome.
I'm excited. It was really nice of him to do that.
That reminds me, I also have a conference this week. I'll be at it Wednesday and Thursday and off Friday.
All right. So Cindy, Jill, and Sammy will be holding down the fort.
They can
Very well, they can
They can handle it?
They can
Okay. Go girls. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.